Join me as I challenge myself to create a stunning mini canvas using only my fingers, no brushes allowed. I've always been fascinated by finger painting. There's something so therapeutic and fun about it. I mean, think about it, no brushes, no pencils, just your fingers and paint. It's like a whole new world of creativity opens up. I've seen some amazing pieces created with finger painting, and I'm excited to share some tips and techniques with you on how to take your finger painting to the next level. One of the biggest challenges people face when trying to paint with their fingers is the messiness. It's easy to get paint everywhere, on your clothes, on the table, on the floor. And then there's the issue of control. It can be really hard to get the exact shape or design you want when you're using your fingers. I've definitely been there, struggling to get the paint to cooperate. Another challenge is blending colors. When you're using brushes, you can mix colors together easily, but with finger painting, it's a bit trickier. You have to use your fingers to mix the colors, which can be a bit messy. Getting the right consistency of paint can also be a challenge. If the paint is too thick, it's hard to move it around on the canvas. If it's too thin, it just drips everywhere. I've found that experimenting with different types of paint and mediums can really help. Some paints are just more suitable for finger painting than others. And then there's the issue of technique. There are so many different techniques you can use when finger painting: dragging, dotting, smudging. It can be a bit overwhelming to know where to start. To overcome these challenges, I've developed some techniques that I want to share with you. First, let's talk about color mixing. One of my favorite things to do is to mix colors together on the canvas. I'll take a big glob of paint and then add a little bit of another color to it. The key is to experiment and have fun with it. Another technique I use is called dragging. I'll take my finger and drag it across the canvas, creating a smooth line. You can use this technique to create all sorts of different effects. I've also found that preparing your canvas is crucial. I like to prime mine with a coat of gesso, which helps the paint adhere and gives it a smooth surface to work on. And then there's the actual technique of painting with your fingers. It's all about using the right amount of pressure and moving your fingers in the right way. With a bit of practice, you can create some really beautiful pieces. So here's my stunning finger-painted mini canvas that I created using the techniques I just shared with you. I'm really happy with how it turned out. The colors are vibrant, the design is intricate. It's just a really fun piece to create. I love how the paint seems to dance across the canvas. You can see how I used the dragging technique to create the background, and then added some dots and lines to give it some texture. I think what I love most about finger painting is the freedom it gives you. There's something so therapeutic about getting your hands dirty and creating something from scratch. One of the biggest misconceptions about finger painting is that it's only for young children. I think a lot of adults might shy away from it, thinking it's not sophisticated enough or that they'll look silly getting their fingers covered in paint. But trust me, it's a great way to tap into your creative side and let go of any stress or anxiety. For adults, it can be a bit intimidating to pick up a color and just start painting, especially if you're used to more traditional art methods. You might worry that your painting won't turn out right or that you'll make a mess. But that's the beauty of finger painting. It's all about experimentation and having fun. Another challenge adults might face is getting past the idea that finger painting is a childish activity. But art is all about expressing yourself and exploring different techniques. And with finger painting, you can create some really unique and interesting textures. So, let's get started and see what kind of magic we can create on these tiny canvases. I'm using a variety of materials, including acrylic paints, and some really small canvases. One of the things I love about finger painting is the ability to mix colors and create new shades and hues. To create different textures, I'm using a combination of finger movements and tools like sponges and even household items. It's amazing how much depth and interest you can add to a piece just by experimenting with different techniques. As I work on this piece, I'm thinking about color mixing and how I can use different shades to create a sense of depth. I'm also trying to build up layers of paint to add texture and interest. You can see how the painting is starting to come together, and I'm excited to see the finished piece. It's a really meditative process, and I feel like I'm in the zone when I'm finger painting. And here's the finished piece. I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I love the way the colors and textures work together. Recapping, finger painting is an amazing way to relieve stress and express yourself creatively. It's accessible, fun, and you don't need to be a skilled artist to enjoy it. So, I encourage you to give it a try and see what kind of magic you can create. If you've had any experience with finger painting, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. And if you're looking for more creative inspiration, be sure to check out my next video. Thanks for joining me on this artistic adventure.